Okay, it's Nick Dutch back again, going through the 13 principles of Wicca. This is the 9th video in the series. We're about to have a look at the 8th principle out of the 13 principles of Wicca. So far, I've seen a very strong identification between myself and the previous 7 principles. I've had a look at them, and so far I can't say that there is anything that I've seen in these principles which is separate from the life of an atheist or an agnostic or an individual spiritual person or even the vast majority of practitioners of any major world religion. So far I'm not seeing anything which defines witchcraft as separate to life. I have not seen that so far in these principles, but I have seen a lot of agreement between a lot of my own perspectives and what we have here, and I've ticked, that's 7 principles I've gone through, and yes, I'm agreeing with all of them, if we look at the words in sufficient depth. Now, let's have a look at number 8 and see what, shove that up the flagpole and see if Nick Dutch salutes it. It says, calling oneself a witch does not make a witch, but neither does hereditary itself, nor the collecting of titles, degrees, and initiations. A witch seeks to control the forces within her or himself to make life possible in order to live wisely and without harm to others in harmony with nature. That's interesting. It says, calling yourself something does not make you that thing. Alright, just like a picture of a pipe does not mean to say it is a pipe. Okay? I could call myself a doctor, but if I haven't got a doctorate, as well as gone through all the experience, and I've actually become and gone through everything it means to become a doctor, then I am not a doctor. And even once I've become a doctor, there'll still be more things to learn, including from my patients. If you've spoken to a general practitioner, you'll know he gets most of his up-to-date medical knowledge from his patients' research which they give to him. Anyway, that's my experience. So again, it's talking about growth and change. It says, a witch seeks to control the forces within her or himself. Now, it doesn't say supernatural forces, it doesn't say energies, it just says forces. So that means psychology, your willpower, your instincts, your drives, your mentality, and also, your body, looking after yourself in terms of health, nutrition, exercise, all the rest of that, to try and do all you can to try and make yourself a more effective person normally. So in that respect, I don't see anything in that which is different to a person who buys nutritional supplements, eats a healthy diet, and goes down the pool 3 times a week to keep himself physically fit. It says here, without harm to others and in harmony with nature. Now, that's going to be a bit difficult, because without harm to others, there's lots of things that people say and do which is harmful to other people. The fact that I might buy something that was made by a child in a sweatshop in China has probably hurt that child in the sweatshop in China because he was working long hours or whatever. There's all kinds of little things that we do which creates harm without us thinking I am harming somebody. So to do so completely without harm to others is probably impossible. And in harmony with nature, well, that's getting a bit woolly. We all have our carbon footprint, okay? If a cow farts, he's got his carbon footprint, alright? So, to be completely in harmony with nature would be almost impossible. But the word here is seek. It doesn't say you have to be that way, does it? No, it says you have, seek to control the force inside yourself. So essentially it's pointing out, you are imperfect, you've got problems, you've got flaws, faults and foibles. Maybe your diet isn't good enough, or maybe there's something about what you're doing which is not quite right, or you've got to question your own morality when you're doing things. So again, this is an interesting introspective principle, which is pointing out that giving yourself a title means nothing. The title is zero, which to a certain extent would actually go contrary to the idea that these are part of the identity of people who call themselves Wiccan. because it's pointing out, I mean, although it says calling oneself witch does not make a witch, it's not just talking about witch, is it? It's talking about titles. It says calling oneself. And it's again talking about personal development and growth, and of course questioning your own morality, which is again something which most people could not disagree with. It's actually quite normal. Alright, so there we go. The 8th principle of Wicca, and Nick Dutch is in favor of it. Yet another box which has been ticked by Nick Dutch. And yes, I can prove that my life is in understanding and in cooperation with these principles so far. Again, I'll stop the camera and I'll set up another video and we'll go through the rest of the principles one by one. Okay, just a moment please.